called a presidential candidate. Never in the history of this country do we have presidential everybody want to become president. But how many of them carry the light for Nigeria? And those that carry the light for Nigeria, I'm sorry to say it, the electorate might not want even to elect them. Why? Because they don't see the light. They see money. And money is a deception that cannot make us pick true leaders. Why sell your votes, whether you are a delegate or a electorate? Why sell your vote for peanut to a man that will slave you for the next 4 years? The problem of Nigeria is not a problem of that we don't know truth. We know truth, but we like to walk in darkness rather than truth. When we are talking about the unity of this country, which is not non-negotiable, yes, but what is the problem? How do you enter into a marriage and then you enter into an agreement and one side of the region is suffering and you don't allow them to produce president? Then you are complaining about their agitation. Why will they not agitate? The Igbo have been so, the Igbo race or the Southeast have been so deprived. You cannot be talking about one Nigeria when every time you want to pick a president, you say the Igbo man is not qualified. And then you want them to be in the marriage. This is the problem of the Biafra agitation. If you cannot solve that problem, you will still have more Nnamdi Kanu agitating. That is the reason you cannot be preaching love and unity and be practicing the opposite. This is the major problem of Nigeria. Why will the Southwest, I'm a Yoruba man, continue to be in power? Why will the North continue to be in power? Then the major language, you are not telling them you don't trust them. If you don't trust them, why are you keeping them? Leave them, let them come. I don't care how many of them are coming, whether they are in unity or not in unity. Give them the opportunity to prove themselves. The politics will go to the highest bidder. It has become a democracy which is called meritocracy. It is about the one who have the money. And I don't blame them. The church will fold our hands and we say, no, politics is a dirty game. All we are doing is to intercede. This is the problem. You will intercede and chop intercession when it is time. Those who are power brokers will enter there, go into primaries, join a political party. This is the problem of the church. Who is but blind? The church. Too spiritual. Politics is not only spirituality. You have to join the game. You have to belong to a political party. You have to follow and become a delegate. How many Christians do we have as delegates in most political parties? How do we influence? This thing is not of prayer alone. We have been praying. If prayer can change Nigeria, the intercessors in Nigeria would have changed everything. The problem we have prayer warriors without strategies. Every regime has its own achievement. For me, speaking my mind as a citizen of this country, not as a pastor, we are so divided now. There's really a tiny line between unity and hatred or disunity. We want to pray for the unity of this country. We want to pray for the leader of the day, or the government of the day, to do the needful before leaving. Because the issue is not about handing over or taking over. It's about handing over a more united country so that we can be solid. It's not easy when a country is going the way we are going. There can be no development. We are going to pray. Of recent, I read in the news and I saw that the government of the day granted some prisoners some pardon, presidential pardon. That's a welcome idea. Sometimes I ask myself if those ideas are factored in the unity of this country. Now, why you are giving people presidential pardon? Why don't you give people like Nnamdi Kanu a pardon that can unite the country? If the Igbos are aggrieved, no matter your grievance, We have to do things that will make this country to be united. An average Igbo man will tell you that, I don't think we are part of this country. And that is the problem. We are more disunited. We don't know what the Yoruba man is thinking if he takes power. We don't know what the South man is thinking if he gets power. Because there are some premises or some things that have been laid now. Maybe if a Yoruba man gets there right now, will tell himself this is the Yoruba turn. Everybody, power, defense, everything, Yoruba, everything, Yoruba, advisor, Yoruba, everything, Yoruba. And we will continue to have a deepening country that will be deepening in bitterness and disunity. The reasons why people are appointed from different regions is to balance and bring unity in the country. Leadership is not just about protecting your interests, it's about also uniting the country. I'm not an Igbo man, but you see, this is what is boiling man. If people who steal money in a country can be given presidential pardon, if people who killed, who are called repentant Boko Haram, can be given pardon, why will somebody crying for independence of a region not be given a pardon and called to a table for dialogue? This thing, I just wonder. It is only in Nigeria we see truths like this, and we turn it this other way, and we speak political grammar, and we look away. And then we hear people talk about unity and federal character, talk about so many things, and it does not represent what we talk about. There are special breeds in this country that can influence the factors that brings about turnaround in this country. If you look at the population of the youth as per 2019, the population of the youth and those who are able to vote, and how many youths even vote, and even this new election, you discover that the youths of this country can determine who becomes the president of this country. But where do we reign? We reign on social media. We reign on one show. Youth will vote almost how many millions will vote in one show and make people. But when it is time to decide what becomes of our country, all we do is to criticize pastors. Pastors are not the one controlling the economy of this country. It's okay. Abuse us as pastors so that we can also be checking ourselves. As you are abusing pastors and checking pastors, can you check the government very well? Can you check the government that determine the future? The reason why ladies are sleeping with dogs and young men are going on Yahoo is because the government of the day has failed. When governments begin to fail, youth will misbehave. And you youth, your power can influence. But we major on the minor and we minor on the major. Why you abuse men of God? Can you sit down to say we can go this way? I saw a movement sometime during the COVID time. What's the movement? NSAS. And I saw how the youth organized themselves. And I said, oh, that's wonderful. That's energy, okay. But not energy completely in the right direction. If the energy rallies around a genuine youth, we'll be talking about the third force that can checkmate the two major parties. But what is the problem? The youth still don't understand. When we say you are the future of tomorrow, we need to understand that we need to pray for the youth of this country. Let me say this. There is a cut-off from the older generation and the younger generation. And I will not blame the older generation, because do the youth of this country really understand what it means to take over, what it means to rule, what it means to influence? Because the direction we are traveling is not the direction to influence. If we abuse the older generation, what is the light that the youth of this generation have shown that we are competent enough to influence and change things even more than the older generation? What are we doing in the Yahoo sector? What are we doing in scamming? What are we doing in sleeping with animals, dogs? What are we doing in being wrongsters? All. What are we doing? Abusing fathers, dishonoring, not understanding the law of honor, releasing energy in the wrong direction. Who are the people they use for political thuggery? Youth.